Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We are back for the Kneejerk stream on a Sunday evening as usual. Game week 5 has just finished, concluded. We're going to discuss how our team's done, and we're also going to discuss, game week 6 as well. We'll look ahead to that week. But yeah, how you doing, Jordan? How's your weekend been so far?
It's been a massive treat after that game. My gosh, that was a huge game, Man City Arsenal, that closing part of game week 5. But yeah, it's been a good week. I think everyone else had a good weekend so far. But yeah, I think there's a lot to talk about to recap on game week 5. It's been very eventful.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll discuss that Arsenal Man City game because what a cracker of a match. Definitely thought it was very interesting for the neutral anyway. But let's kick it off with how our teams have done in game week 5 so far. I think my rank has changed as well since then, guys, slightly. So I will come on to in a second. But yeah, this is what my team currently looks like after. Now, Dean Henderson was man of the match against Man United. I thought he saved Palace in the first half from conceding because Man United probably should have scored. I think it's fair to say. But Dean Henderson had a really good first half. In that game, he made 7 saves, so got the 2 points. He also come away with 2 bonus points as well. Got a clean sheet, obviously. And he also picked up a yellow card, so it would have been 10 points if he didn't get the yellow. So I'm very happy with Dean Henderson because he sort of saved me from a red arrow, I think, this week. Moving on to Robinson. Now, Robinson also, comes away with 2 points after his blank, which was a bit frustrating, considering, to be fair, he's done quite well for me. He's got me a couple of assists. Now, Newcastle, I didn't see the score coming, to be fair. Fulham winning pretty comfortably, 3-1 winners in the end. And Robinson comes away with obviously the 2 points. Didn't get any assists, but, he's been okay for me so far this season. 2 points from him. Saliba comes away with a 1 point. Very frustrated that Gabriel seems to be the centre-back that we should have gone with. Because obviously he's gone and scored back-to-back weeks now, Gabriel. And I've had Saliba all this time. And Saliba comes away with a 1 point after conceding 2 goals to Man City. I thought Gabriel obviously has played really well. And if I was to wildcard in game week 6, I would go with Gabriel over Saliba just because of that goal threat he has on set pieces. But I don't think Saliba's as good in the air as a Gabriel. Trent comes away with an 11-pointer. Now, I did say in the deadline stream, Trent is a double-digit return away for any game now, and it's come again, 11-pointer. Congrats to those that captained him, because I know some people did captain Trent. He got an assist. He also got the 2 bonus points and a clean sheet. So 11 points from him. Very nice. Very happy with that. And long may it continue. And I think Trent will carry on this sort of form for Liverpool throughout the season. And if the frustrating auto sub, as you can see, Ola Aina has been auto subbed in. As we know, Diego Jota there were slight rumors that he could be benched. Rumors of what ended up being true. Slot decided to play Darwin up front. And as you can see from our bench, very, very annoyingly, I put Smith Rowe second bench and I had Ola Aina first bench. If I swap them around, that's another 9 points for me. And I probably would have had a much, much bigger green arrow. Maybe even a couple of 100k actually. That would have changed my week completely if I just had Smith Rowe come on instead of Ola Aina. So bit unlucky there. I don't know what I was thinking. Why would I play the defender ahead of the striker of midfielder? I'm not sure. Just an error on my part. So that's the only sort of downside of my team, that I didn't play Smith Rowe first bench.
I was about to ask that because I just realised that you played Aina ahead of Smith Rowe. Was that? I was about to ask, is that a mistake or was that actually part of the plan?
Yeah, both. It was sort of the plan because we know Ola Aina has been really good. We know Forest have kept clean sheets, and I thought, they might nick another clean sheet against Brighton, but then. When I like after the deadline, I was like, yeah, I've made a mistake. Even before I saw Smith Rowe scoring a goal, because why would I, play the defender ahead of the midfielder in this case, Smith Rowe? So I never play a 4-3-3 That was an error on my part. I would have, if I could go back, I'd definitely put Smith Rowe first bench, because I always tend to go with the attacker. So yeah, hopefully I won't do that sort of mistake again. Even if it's a good defender with a good fixture, I'll rather play the midfielder going forward now, and I've learned that lesson. Ole now annoyingly comes on, gets me 0 points after he got booked, conceded 2 goals as well. But I thought he played well. Obviously, in terms of FPL, comes away with nothing. Into the midfield, Salah, captain, only gets the assist. Well, now this was one of those games we looked at thinking, Salah could haul potentially. Unfortunately, Luis Diaz is the one that got all the points. Luis Diaz scoring 2 goals. Darwin got on the score sheet as well. Salah was trying to do everything and score. He was getting near the end. He was trying to get his goal. Just didn't happen for him. Had a decent game. On another day, probably could have scored. Was a bit unlucky. But yeah, it comes with just the assist. So, Haaland captains have won again if you went Haaland captain. Rodgers, he finally returns, and Rodgers was a late sub because I was going to play Smith Rowe, but they sort of matched each other anyway with 9 points each. So, very glad to see Rodgers get the 2 assists for the Aston Villa goals and finally getting on some points for me now. And yeah, Aston Villa obviously win it late on after Konza's header, 2-1, and then they late one Duran, I think, as well, to make it 3-1 in the end. Eze, moving on to him, very frustrating. It seems like whenever I play him, he doesn't score, and when I bench him, he gets the goal against Chelsea. He was a couple of poor finishes. Should have scored against Man United. Don't know how he missed, to be honest. 2 gilt-edged opportunities on another day, double-digit haul. Just been unlucky. If you've owned Eze so far, I think we've been unlucky. And hopefully, he does return soon. But yeah, 3 points. Would I keep him? It's hard to sort of say now after that blank again, but I might keep the faith still with him. We'll have to see. But yeah, 3 points for him. Moving on to the rest of the team. Chris Wood. Where do we start with him? I believe did he get a 9-pointer in the end? Or was he 8-pointer?
As far as I'm aware, it's currently 8. It could change.
Yeah.
Might have changed. You might have got a point.
Hold on. I think he's on the live FPL app. He's showing on an 8-pointer though. So we'll go with that. Yeah. So yeah, Chris Wood gets an 8-pointer. He got 2 bonus in the end. Played 71 minutes, got a goal through the penalty. So I was very, very happy with Chris Wood. He's only 7.6% effective ownership in my rank. So very low owned player, and helped me sort of creep in and get a green arrow in the end. João Pedro, very, very annoying. If João Pedro didn't come on, I would have got Smith Rowe's 9 points. So I was hoping that João Pedro doesn't come on, but it wasn't to be. He came on and played about 20 minutes, which was always going to happen, I think, especially when Brighton were trying to get the win. And then Haaland does come away with 9 points, and Haaland did pick up all 3 bonus points as well in that match. So fair play to if you went Haaland captain. I think perma captain Haaland is going to be a theme. He's just great in front of goal. There's not much more to say about Haaland. He's destroyed anyone that didn't include him in the teams. If you've still not got Haaland, I mean, there's not much to say. I think you've got to get him in now. He's scoring every week, and I don't think we can avoid Haaland in our teams now. I know what his ownership's now, probably
70%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it's that low. But yeah, what a game. Anyway, away from Haaland, 2-2 in the end, late drama, red card, sort of had it all. Players faking injuries. It's really entertaining game. So, yeah, Haaland, 9 points. Should have captained him in that regard, but I didn't think there would be 4 goals in this match. To be fair, I would thought it'd be 1 goal in it, maybe 0-0. So yeah, red card sort of did change the game as well. On the bench again, Jota didn't start, didn't come on. So obviously I got the auto sub for Ola Aina, which 0 points anyway. Smith Rowe was an annoying one. I benched him second bench, got the 9 points after his really good performance against Newcastle in the 3-1 win, and Wino Barco's flag. So that leaves me with actually 66 points. Sorry, Jordan. It is 66 points for me.
Okay.
According to the FPL app. And it is a green arrow for me. My old rank was 1,790,000. So 1.7 mil. It's a green arrow of 245k. and now my rank sits at 1,544,000. So yeah, about 1.5 million now I sit at after game week 5. It's not been the best start, but it could have been a lot worse. So yeah, 1.5 mil, about 300k green arrow. Can't complain too much. Could have been a lot better. I mean, I would have broke into top 1 million. I think if I Smith row that one decision, I would have broken top 1 mil, because I think looking at my rank, how many points am I away from 1 mil? I'm only 9 points away from 1 mil. So yeah, 9 points in it. If I started Smith row, I'm into the top 1 mil. So that is the difference, guys, in that regard. But it's still a green arrow at the end of the day, after my red arrow last week. So I'll take it. But I'm not massively happy with the game week, if I'm being honest. Even though I managed to clinch a 240k green arrow, I think it could have been a lot better. But yeah, again, it could have been a lot worse, because after Saturday I was on a red, I think. But then Wood and Henderson a lot helped me, especially at their ownership in my rank. Let's take a few comments as well, and then we'll move on to your team as well, Jordan. Comment here from Tendai. Evening, lads. Trent captain came through for me. Rogers, Smith Rowe, and Henderson. Currently 144k overall rank. Even Welbeck comes on for Jota. Delighted. There you go. That's a great week for you there.
Yeah, it all went your way, Tendai. Captain pick, the auto sub.
Can't a bit of auto sub jam as well, with Welbeck coming on for his goal. Lovely goal from Welbeck on the free kick. Roman as well. Hi, lads. Finished on 68 points. Benched ESR. Bit annoying. Yeah, same as me. I think a few managers might have benched ESR. Already made my transfer for the week of Mitoma to Mbumo. Moved early because Mbumo went up in price last night, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, we will come on to that, because I've done something as well last night. I've already done one transfer, and I did it because this same player was sort of rising in price. So I'll discuss my team for game week 6 in a moment. Jordan, let's pull up your team for game week 5 as well. Talk us through your week, your thoughts, and how you're feeling about game week 5.
Yeah, a bit of a mixture for the feeling in terms of game week 5. But let's start with the goalkeeper. So Leicester goalkeeper Hermanson. Only the 3 points. They did drew against Everton. He did make 4 saves in that game, so that gave him an extra point, but no clean sheet for him in that game. Moving on in terms of the back 3, not really much success. We've spoken about Robinson and his clean sheet wipe against Newcastle, only getting the 2 points. We've got Robertson, though, as part of the Liverpool defence, with his clean sheet. Obviously, he doesn't really get bonus points, but I was really happy to see him get the clean sheet. It looked really daunting when I saw Bournemouth score. When I think, was it Semenyo?
Semenyo, yeah, the offside one.
Scored the offside one. I was a bit, oh no, here we go. But yeah, it's nice to see it ruled offside and Liverpool winning 3-0 onwards in that game. On the other hand, we've got Lewis Dunk, who ends up on 0 points after getting a yellow card in conceding 2 against Nottingham Forest in that 2-2 draw. A lot of drama in that game, a lot of red cards, and a lot of madness happening during that fixture. Moving on to the midfield 5, you got Palmer with 8 points. He was part of the goals against West Ham in that 3-0 win. Didn't really play long, played about 63 minutes. I think the game was pretty much done and dusted. West Ham, I thought, that's probably the worst play I've seen from West Ham in a long time. I thought they were absolutely horrendous, and the defence was absolutely ripped apart by Chelsea. He did get the clean sheet point as well, but no bonus points were rewarded to him. Moving on to Rogers, who we've spoken about as well, and like I said, guys, this was coming. I said Rogers would eventually get an attacker return. He got 2 from 2 assists. He did pick up a yellow card, but he managed to get a bonus 2 on top of that, which is, I say, a relief, and delighted to see him actually get some points now for the team. Diego Jota is the auto sub, so Faiz comes on for him. So he gives me 2 points in the team, because obviously Faiz played against Everton, and that was a draw. So moving on to the captain, Salah. He got 12-pointer. I was expecting a little bit more. I thought Salah would score in that game, but I'm quite happy that he at least got an assist, because it kind of It doesn't match Haaland, but it's not as bad as obviously Haaland scoring, Salah getting the assist and the clean sheet put on top of that. So yeah, quite a relief, I guess. And at least I got to captain points this week. And finally moving on to Matoma, which again I'm kind of regretting bringing in triple Brighton now because it hasn't really worked out in terms of the assets I've picked. I mean, Matoma did get an assist, but yeah, it hasn't been great in terms of Brighton assets. I think I'd rather bring in triple Nottingham Forest. I think I would have been more beneficial in terms of points. But yeah, Matoma got an assist in that game. Better than a blank in that sense. And then obviously the front two got Haaland on 9 points, scoring the first goal for Man City in that game, which ended 2-2. A lot of drama and excitement combined. And alongside him, got João Pedro, who only played about 20 minutes coming onto the pitch. And obviously, he didn't look great. I mean, even through his time on the pitch, it looked like he was going to come off it again because he was wobbling and not looking comfortable on the pitch. But yeah, it's not been a great transfer in either in terms of the Brighton assets. And just quickly on the bench, no returns on the bench, Fives with 2 points. And obviously the player was playing against Keane, only getting the 1 point. And obviously the non-playing players got the 0. And is it another red arrow? I am surprised that is a red arrow considering I've got 57 points, which you'd say is very good for an average game week. But no, it's still not enough to get me.
What's your safety?
My safety is 59. So I'm 2 points underneath it. So it's quite It's surprisingly, at 5.6 million rank, you wouldn't think a safety of 59 was around that margin.
Yeah, my safety is 64, and I got 66, so I'm 2 over, like the opposite of you, essentially.
Yeah, so it's quite a surprise. People are doing really well around my rank, which is annoying at the same time as a struggle at Gameweek 5. But yeah, my old rank was 5.643. It's now 5.664, so it's not really a big red arrow, but the rank's not really moved at all. It's still early days, but I kind of need some movement soon because 5 million at Gameweek 5 doesn't look good at the moment, especially.
I think I was around 5 mil in Gameweek 5 last season, so but I wildcarded around this time last season, so yeah.
So far the wildcard hasn't worked out. It's his second game week now. And it's the second red arrow in a row now from it. So, I have to wait and see how the rest of the games provide for this team now. But 57 points, and that's how Game Week 5 has ended up for me.
All right, so that's sort of Game Week 5 wrapped up. We wouldn't look ahead to Game Week 6. So I'll just load up my boss team. Just bear with me. If you want to change the layout. Just bear with me for a second, guys, so you can see that. So this is what currently my teams look like, and as you might see, I've already made a transfer. So let's take a few comments. Tendai, next week double Liverpool defense or Arsenal defense. Thoughts? Probably Arsenal. Arsenal do have Leicester and then I think Ipswich or something like that back to back. I'm just gonna have a look at their fixtures. So sorry, Arsenal have Leicester in game week 6, and then in game week 7 they've got Southampton and then Bournemouth. So I would go with double Arsenal defense, maybe Gabriel and Raya. I'd rather get one of the goalies in because I think Arsenal do some decent fixtures coming up. So my bus team currently, Henderson in goal, who's got Everton away for game week 6. I have a back three currently of Saliba, Robinson, and Trent. They all have decent fixtures. Saliba has Leicester, Robinson has Forest, and Trent has Wolves. Currently rocking a midfield 4. I have already done a transfer, guys. So as you'll see, Jota is no longer in my team. Now, last night, Saturday night, I took out Jota and I bought in Mbeumo. Now, this wasn't just because Jota was benched and missed out. I was going to do the transfer regardless. Even if Jota played and scored, I probably would have done it. So, yeah, Jota's gone from the team and Mbeumo's come in and he's gone up in price last night as well. So, I saw he was going up in price. He's someone I wanted. I've mentioned him quite a few times. He's now 7.2 million. Scored a lovely goal against Tottenham in their loss. Fixtures I like coming up. West Ham next. So that's my free transfer done. And Mbeumo's in the team. And then the rest of the midfield, I've got Salah against Wolves, who won't be my captain. I don't think. I think I'm going to keep it on Haaland. But yeah, I think it's a good fixture for Salah still. I still think he can get you goals in this one. I think Wolves have been quite poor. Ipswich for Rodgers as well. Rodgers isn't in the team. He's starting. And then I've got Eze to complete the midfield 4. Up front, currently, I've got Haaland, João Pedro, and Wood. Now, Smith Rowe will probably play for me. So I'll play Smith Rowe instead of Pedro. Pedro's got Chelsea away. I think that could be a tough game. I've been quite impressed with Chelsea. They've been playing a lot better. Smith Rowe's got Forest. I know Forest have been looking good as well. So, but Smith Rowe's been on a bit of a hot streak. So, 2 goals and assist for the season, not bad for his price. So I think I might start Smith Rowe this time. But this is what my team currently looks like. I'm playing a 3-5-2. Haaland captain at the moment, and on the bench I've got Ola Aina, João Pedro, and Barco. Pedro again looked a bit. He wasn't running properly after that knock he got. So we don't know what's going to happen with João Pedro if he's going to be fit for game week 6. So he's one to watch. But as you guys know as well, pre game week 5, I was looking at game week 6 wildcard. And I'm not completely ruling it out. But when I look at my team, I don't know if I want a wildcard. Obviously, I've got no free transfers left anymore because I've already bought Mbeumo in. But the only worry with my team is I've got no Arsenal attackers and they've got Leicester at home. So I want to ask you, John, obviously looking at my team and the chat, get involved as well. Do you think this team needs a wild card?
No, honestly, I don't think it does. I think the only thing you're missing out on is probably an Arsenal attacker because you probably want one against Leicester at home. But apart from that, I don't think you necessarily need anyone else for game week 5. Off the top
if I really want, 6, sorry. So I was just going to say, if I really want, I could take a -4, do Salah to Saka. Salah's got Wolves.
Yeah, Salah's got Wolves. It's away fixture. But then Saka, I say, has a better fixture against Leicester at home.
Yeah.
I would preferably want Havertz instead of Saka. He does save up money, but he is a forward player. That's the only issue.
Yeah, there's no way I can get to Havertz, essentially.
No, not without reconstructing a part of the team to get him. But yeah, I would be more happy getting with Havertz. But second best, I think Saka, is a good option to go for.
Because I was looking at my team for this game week 6, and it looks okay. It's just the main one I'm lacking, obviously, is the Arsenal forward. Whether I have a Saka or a Havertz, I can get to Saka if I want with a hit for Salah. I'm not sure it's worth selling Salah against Wolves, and Wolves have been a bit poor this season. That's fair to say. Liverpool have looked good. Where this team doesn't look as good is game week 7, though. Game week 7, I think the fixtures are quite rough. I'm going to have a look what the team looks like. I want to bring up the FPL site where I can actually see what my team looks like for game week 7. But let us know in the chat, guys. Do you think my team needs a wild card, or do you think I'm okay without any Arsenal players when they've got Leicester at home as well?
Because let's say you did wild card, how many players would you actually need to change in terms of the team you have right now? Because I don't see that many you could possibly switch out for others.
Yeah, I would probably have an Arsenal attacker. Let me just have a look. So I'm going to share this screen instead. So hope you guys can see that. Hold on. Yeah, this is on FPL. FPL.team. So obviously I've took Jota out already. I've got Brian and Mbeumo into the team. Let's say I play Smith Rowe, even though the predicted points is lower. But let's say I play Smith Rowe. Let's say I cap Haaland. Strange. It's got expected points lower for Haaland captain than Salah. So Newcastle away though. It's not in Newcastle are decent at home, but let's say I've got it on Haaland for now again. I could go Salah. We'll see. And then game week 7 is where the team doesn't look great, I think, because Henderson's got Liverpool at home. Robinson has Man City away, so you don't want to play him against Man City. Ola Aina's got Chelsea away. João Pedro has Tottenham. And then Salah's got Palace away. Eze has Liverpool. Smith Rowe has Man City. And Wood has Chelsea. So I think a game week 7 wild card is where I'm looking potentially. Or do I do it now? Bring in the likes of Saka and stuff. for the price rises. If I lose out on price rises, because I know Raya's already gone up in price, but yeah, the Game Week 7 team doesn't look great. If I'm being honest, that's the concern with this one.
Yeah, the Game Week 7 looks like more of a wildcard option rather than Game Week 6. I think I'd rather play the team in Game Week 6 that you have and then change it for the team you have on the screen right now for another one.
Yeah, so this is back to my Game Week 6 team. Let's have a look at your team. Obviously, you wildcarded in Game Week 4. What's your boss team looking like, and how many free transfers do you have, and what's your plans looking into it?
Yeah, in terms of this week, the fixtures look good, apart from obviously my goalkeeper having Arsenal away, which is, I can't do anything about that because I have a non-playing goalkeeper. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm not happy about the fixtures. I mean, Brighton has Chelsea away. I'm not really keen on the clash between them and Parma. And since Brighton drew against Arsenal, I don't think they've been that great. I know they scored 2 goals against Nottingham Forest today, but still, I think the assets I've picked are the wrong ones in terms of when I wildcarded in Game Week 4. Other than that, though, a bit annoying that Jota was obviously didn't play. That's a major blow, and as it was expected for the rotation, that will have to be dealt with, I guess. But yeah, in terms of transfers, I have to actually see. I got 1 free transfer, so I've got 0.2.
Triple Brighton as well. I'm looking triple Brighton against Chelsea. It's not ideal as well.
I would have taken a Brighton asset out, but again, I'm in the middle of a pickle, I think, in terms of my team now. This is not really where I was looking to be.
And Jota as well. What's your thoughts on Jota? Do you stick? Do you twist? Obviously, he was on the bench.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be sticking with Jota for time. It is a bit annoying that Luis Diaz has had more of the action in comparison to Jota, who's only had 1 goal and 1 assist. And I believe that's 4 for Luis Diaz now.
5 goals, I think, in the league for Diaz now.
See, that's what I mean. It was the wrong pick going for Jota, I think.
Yeah, I did say I would go for Diaz on a wildcard, on wildcard 4. I just felt he was one in form, and with that rest he had in the Champions League as well, he didn't play in against Milan, so you knew he's going to come back straight in for the Premier League game.
Yeah, it's a bit of hindsight there, because it could have gone either way. I mean, Jota could have had 5 goals and then Diaz having 1, but yeah, it's just that's how it goes. And obviously not having a Liverpool defender for 3 game weeks when I had Kwanzaa now with Robertson, and even that I don't feel happy with, because it's 6 million just sat there. I know he's getting.
That's why I always said, if you can find a million elsewhere, if you have to have like a 2 or like a 4 million midfielder, I would rather have Trent over it. I think Trent is. I think Haaland, Salah, Trent. I think they're that level. I think Haaland is. Haaland. I think Trent is going to get you 200 points this season. I think he's the Haaland of defenders, if that makes sense. As in, you have to have him in your team. That's what I think. I just think he's going to get you that many points over. Because we've been unlucky. If you've owned Trent, he should have had a lot more returns than he's had. He scored against United, which on another day, if Salah's not, offside, then we know he had a couple of assists for Jota that he missed against Ipswich. So Trent, I think you might want to look to bring him in, but I think with your team, it's the Brighton guys more important, because Robertson will play. At least with Robertson, he's going to get you game time. He's going to play against Wolves. He's sort of a steady Eddie. He's going to get you. Liverpool are picking up more clean sheets this season than last season as well. They look a lot better defensively.
Yeah, I'm not too unhappy with Robertson. I would have liked Trent. I'm just outpriced by him with the team I have around him. It's just the rest of the team. I'm half the team I'm not really happy with, especially Brighton that we've spoken about. I was expecting a lot more. I think it's the 8-switch game which led to 0-0 as well. Kind of slightly thought this was a mistake, bringing triple Brighton in. But I never expected there to be a 0-0 there. I thought there'd be goals. And obviously Welbeck has been the better option over João Pedro for like a few game weeks now. And we couldn't do anything about João Pedro being injured. That's just something that happened. But yeah, it's just been unfortunate. It's just been the wrong players, I think, I've picked that have got the other end of the returns. And it just feels like it's a struggle at the moment in terms of, because I've wildcarded already now. I can't do anything about that.
You got 1 free transfer though. So what are you thinking with that 1 transfer? Obviously, if it worst comes to worst, you can take a -4 if you really need to. But obviously, you've got one transfer. Where do you move? Because I think João Pedro, you've not really got a bench as well. I mean, Fice, Keane, Wheatley is a non-playing forward.
Yeah.
You could do. I'm just thinking, Mitoma potentially out. And what's the Brighton fixtures like? I'm not. The fixtures do slightly turn now, I think, with Brighton.
Oh yeah, they've definitely turned now. They've got Chelsea, Spurs, and Newcastle in the next 3, so they are difficult now. And then if Liverpool, Man City after that, in between Wolves.
Yeah,
so Wolves is the only good fixture in the next 6 that Brighton do have now. So I do have to unload 1 or 2 Brighton assets. But it just depends where I go with the team. I have to unload Brighton assets, but there's also Jota there in terms of minutes. How many minutes does he play now?
Yeah, I think we've got to wait and see with Liverpool. If Liverpool have a midweek FA Cup fixture against West Ham, I think if Darwin starts against West Ham, then you could even keep Jota for another week potentially, because that means Jota probably gets a Premier League game.
Yeah, I might.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, I was going to add one more thing. Yeah, I might have to keep Jota because I don't know what situations with João Pedro now, because he did not look good.
Yeah,
even playing that 20 minutes, he did not look good again. And I'm worried that he might not even start against Chelsea away again.
I was saying if João Pedro doesn't start against Chelsea, you don't want Fice coming on against Arsenal. He's probably going to concede 2 or 3 goals potentially, or even Keane.
Against Crystal Palace. I mean, especially with Everton's currently conceding a lot of goals so far. But yeah, it's just it's difficult managing past this predicament now, because in terms of captain as well, I'm going to have to captain Haaland every week, it seems. I think the next mistake was not having Haaland in the team at the start of the game week and going without him as a captain pick up until now. So, yeah, that's another.
Are you captaining Haaland this week? Or are you going to go Salah? We've got Wolves.
I think perma captain Haaland, I think, for me, the whole season now. This just you can't you just can't work around it. I've tried working around not captaining Haaland for the last 5 game weeks. Look how that's ended up. I'm 5 point. It's obviously not the main reason why I'm in this situation in terms of rank, but it's part of it, because I've lost out on a lot of points from Haaland, and it seems like you just need to perma captain Haaland now, because it just doesn't seem like he's going to stop.
Yeah, he started off this season probably better than the other season when he broke all the records. So yeah, we'll come on to transfer plans, captaincy picks as well. But let's take a few comments. If Haaland and Watkins and Raul, I can keep Trent, or Haaland and Watkins and Calvert-Lewin, just use Konate. I prefer Trent. As I mentioned, I probably made it clear, guys. If you haven't watched this, if you're new to the stream, for me, Trent is, alongside the likes of Haaland, is one of the best assets in the game. I think he's underpriced at 7 million. I think if you look at Trent, let's go back to my team. Hold on. Let me share my screen. So with Trent, first game against Ipswich, he got 8 points. Now this game, if you guys watch this game, he could have easily had 2 assists. If he gets those 2 assists, that's a 16-pointer in that game. Against Brentford, wasn't his best game in terms of maybe getting a goal, but his expected assist was still 0.53. Against Man United, he scores, which was offside in that one. Again, which was a bit unlucky. On another day, if Salah's onside, that's another double-digit haul. Brentford, he could have got a double-digit haul. Nottingham Forest, again, that was a terrible game from everyone at Liverpool. The whole team, I thought the performance was really bad. So that's the one game where he wasn't great, but neither was anyone. And yesterday he gets a 11-pointer, and he could have had maybe another potential assist. In every game so far, bar that Forest game where they lost, he could have had a double-digit return. So for me, at 7 million, or 7.1 now, with the fixtures to be fair, Liverpool fixtures do slightly turn, but I think he will still get you, assuming he stays fit. I see 200 points this season for Trent, and he's already on. How many points has he got? 32 points so far. So we'll see what he does, but I think he's one of those players that I have. Like, for me, he's like a Haaland in my team where I'm not going to get rid of him, and I'm just going to keep him to the rest of the season unless he gets injured. Hussein says, "Hey guys, Jordan at 5.7 million with 557 points and still got a red margin."
Yeah, it's tough. I think the season has been a tough start for me. It's not really where I wanted to be at Game Week 5, but
Still
a
early
long way
days.
to go. Yeah.
Still early days because obviously I was at 5 million, I think, around this time last season, and it's so I think game week 10 is when you start really separating the ranks a bit more. Dan the man with a comment for me. I think if you're going to wildcard in 7, may as well do it in 6. Yeah, I do hear that. I do hear that sentiment as well. I may still go, guys. I might still wildcard because one thing about wildcarding though, I know a lot of other managers are wildcarding in game week 6, and they're going to get rid of Salah. So does Salah become a differential in game week 6? Because most managers will have got rid. That's what's tempting me to have Salah for one more week when he's low owned, because I can see Salah doing quite well against Wolves. So that's one thing to think. Because if I was to wildcard, I don't think I'd have Salah in my team, which is mad to say. But you look at Salah's fixtures. Wolves, I think, is a good fixture on paper for Salah. Palace away, it's not the worst fixture. But then after that, Liverpool have Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, Villa. Plus, you have to factor in the Champions League games that are sandwiched in between these. Liverpool have a game every 3 days. Salah might get rotated. I don't know. Usually he's a 90-minute man, but there is a chance Chiesa can play. Liverpool do have that backup for him now. So maybe I wouldn't have Salah on a wild card, and that's what's making me maybe delay the wild card by a week so I can have Salah. But I think Saka is a great option against Leicester. So yeah, I think it might make sense to just do Saka in, to be fair. I'm planning on wildcard soon, and I was wondering who would you rather, ESR or Rodgers? I think Rodgers, personally. I'm looking at Smith Rowe's fixtures. I mean, to be fair, Smith Rowe got, Man City in game week 7, Villa in 8, Brentford in 10, Palace in 11, compared to Rodgers, Ipswich, Man United, Fulham, Bournemouth, Spurs. I probably prefer. It's hard to say. Who would you go, Rodgers or Smith Rowe?
I'd rather have Rodgers, I think. I know that obviously Smith Rowe's had more success in game weeks, more points, but I think Rodgers has been unlucky in a lot of game weeks where he could have had an assist or a goal.
Yeah.
But I like Aston Villa's fixtures in the next lot coming over Smith Rowe.
Apparently, Rodgers has gone up to 3 bonus now as well. So,
oh, really? That's good.
That might be why I have an extra point on the game. I don't know. Let me have a look.
I think he's on 2 currently.
Yeah, Rodgers has gone up. He's got a 10-pointer now. So that would be why. Rodgers, double-digit haul from Rodgers. So, yeah, I'll probably stick with Rodgers. Jota and Burmo, that's the move I've done. With a red card to Trossard, I think Martinelli is a real sleeper pick for the next few games. Yeah, possibly. But it is just one game he misses, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, because he got the 2 yellows, yeah.
Yeah, just the one game, so...
Very silly. From the second yellow, kicking the ball away.
I still think Saka's the one. I mean, you see Arsenal again, both their goals by defenders. And I feel like a lot of the defenders are the ones getting the goals, not really the attackers. But yeah, I still think Saka and then Havertz are the 2 I'd go for. If you really do want to go different, you can try Martinelli, but yeah, not for me. Thoughts on Palmer and Porro to Gabriel and Saka, 2 free transfers?
Yeah, I think this is a popular move. So a lot of people are going to ship off Palmer for Saka for game week 6. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people were questioning whether, obviously, is it worth Palmer at the price he's at in terms of Saka, who...
Back-to-back home games coming up for Palmer, though.
Yeah, it's true.
Against Brighton and Forest, who played each other today.
But in terms of me, I think...
You'd want Saka, I think. Yeah, Saka's got the better fixtures, Leicester and Southampton, and then Bournemouth after that as well. And, well, in game week 10, Chelsea play Liverpool away, so tougher game.
Plus, in terms of Chelsea now, it's not the same Palmer we saw last season where he was more reliant on scoring for Chelsea. We're seeing now Nicholas Jackson, amongst other players, now getting more involved in the attack rather than just having to rely on Palmer. Yeah, he'll get a goal here and there.
Yeah.
Still, but yeah, there's less reliance on him now. Is it worth the price still?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Is João Pedro a keep? Don't think he is, to be fair. I think if you've got him, definitely he's on the chopping block of a sell. Again, we have to wait for team news. How serious is his injury again? Because he did look he was a bit, struggling to walk and run really. So it's a bit worrying, especially with with us. We own João Pedro, so that could also force me into wildcard. If I hear his serious injury, then could make me press the wildcard button. Is Minter a sell? Probably. It was never really a buy for me. Again, Brighton just have so many of those players that can play in the forward positions. He's just not nailed as a pick.
Rotating risk.
Yeah.
Team. I'd rather have Matoma from before, obviously, when Brighton had good assets, good fixtures. So, but even that hasn't really worked out.
Yep. Michael Henderson finally came good. So surely we keep him till next week at least. Yeah, you could keep him against Everton. Everton have scored a couple goals though, Calvert-Lewin. So slight chance of a clean sheet. But yeah, obviously very happy to see Henderson get the 9-pointer. But Palace's fixtures they're up and down. So if you're going to wild card in game week 7, then you probably wouldn't go with, or even game week 6, you probably wouldn't include a Palace goalkeeper. You might want to go for an Arsenal goalkeeper like a Raya and just set and forget. Do we think Rodgers keeps his spot when Duran surely has to start soon? I think he could, because Duran's more for Watkins sort of position, isn't he?
Yeah. Usually Watkins would get subbed off for Duran. Sometimes they have played on the pitch at the same time though, and someone else has been subbed off, but I don't see why Rodgers would lose his spot to Duran.
Because Rodgers has been playing really well as well, so it's going to be hard to just bench Rodgers. We know Aston Villa do have Champions League football, so there is more demand and they've got to be more rotation because they play sort of every couple of days now as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate that Champions League schedule. But Duran could play some Champions League minutes take some minutes off Watkins, I think even. Palmer early sub or worry yet? I mean, how many minutes did he play?
63, but I wouldn't say this was a row, if I'm honest. If you guys saw West Ham in that game, it was an utter shock how bad they were. I think by the time it was 3-0 when Palmer got subbed off, there was no need for players like him to be on the pitch anymore. That's how bad West Ham were. They weren't a threat. They were literally terrible throughout the whole game, and there was no need for Palmer to play any more minutes. You might as well rest your players. I think Jackson went off as well because he scored 2 and got an assist.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a substitute in terms of tactical. No need for them to play more minutes.
Resting them.
Yeah, for the next game.
João Pedro replacements. Good comment, Mike. Obviously, we know João Pedro, if he does miss out, what are the options now? Looking at transfers, looking at the strikers, under 6 million, I'd say, Chris Wood again is potentially an option. I think, guys. I think Chris Wood has some decent fixtures as an owner myself.
I was looking at replacements, but
Welbeck. I mean, fixtures aren't the best. You could go to someone like Welbeck, but I think Chris Wood, I like his fixtures, guys. I think he's on penalties as well. Fulham, Chelsea, Palace, Leicester, West Ham, Newcastle. Not bad fixtures at his price, 6.1 million. Duran, but again, with his minutes, he's barely played more than 30 minutes in any single game. I just think not yet, because he doesn't play 90. So if he was going to start, then he could have been a decent option. But I think right now, Wood, likes of Calvert-Lewin, potentially 90-minute man sort of fixtures aren't bad for Everton, even though their form is pretty shoddy at the moment. Vardy, it could be an option. He's playing, starting regularly. Fixture list is quite nice from game week 7. Bournemouth, Southampton, Forest, Ipswich. Maybe we're sleeping on Vardy for the next 4 after Arsenal, obviously. And he's only 5.7.
Yeah, other than that, though, there's not really any other picks around that price mark that's appealing.
Yeah, Raul Jimenez, I think, could be an option at Wolves. 5.4 million, so he's very, very cheap. Scored on the weekend against Newcastle. Lovely finish. Scored against West Ham. Back-to-back goals. Fixtures for Forest next. City is a bit tough, obviously. So he could be an option. But other than that, I think you're looking at Welbeck with the tougher fixtures. Wood, Calvert-Lewin, Vardy, and Jimenez. Those are the ones. Mooney's hasn't really. He's coming off the bench now. I think Raul Jimenez is going to play ahead of him. West Ham, Danny Ings is an option. I mean, he's not even playing. I wouldn't go West Ham at the moment. Evan Nilsson at Bournemouth is interesting, but still, I think interesting player. But yeah, he's getting minutes. Yeah, 75 against Liverpool. I think he had that one chance, but I don't think I'd be going ahead with him instead of the other guys I've mentioned. But yeah, those are the ones. Nketiah, I like. Possibly, we'll see what he can do, but he could be an option when the fixtures turn a bit better for Palace. Armstrong at Southampton isn't an option. Not starting. Yeah, but other than that, I think those are the ones, guys. No, Ndai scored, didn't he, in the weekend? But again, he's just coming off the bench here and there. So
yeah,
those are the ones, guys, at that price. Great comment. If I email FPL, do you think they'll give my wild card back if I explain it was a mistake? You can try. Don't think you're going to get anywhere that far.
I might try that NH.
Yeah, I've activated wildcard. Overall rank 1.1 now. No Haaland all season, ruining my rank, and have to get him. Yeah, I mean, your rank's better than my rank, and I've had Haaland all season, so that's a bit. I mean, with my team, I don't know. Like, I just think who's ruined my rank this season. I'm trying to think. Jota's not really worked out for me. I've had Jota, got rid of him now. I think having him has not helped. And then I'm trying to think who else has not helped my rank. What other players? And Burmo is another one, I think. In Burmo. Palmer, yeah, possibly. I think Palmer's not that highly owned, though.
I'm
trying to think of players I don't have. I'm trying to think of players I don't have. Palmer.
40%. Just under
40%. But yeah. I mean, a lot of people have already pulled their triple captain, haven't they? I mean, Henderson, that's fair shout. Not really worked out until this week. Hello, FPL Duo. Is it valid to sell Jota to afford an Arsenal defender? I think so, yes. I've sold Jota myself. And Michael, when did you sell Jota? I've already sold him. I sold him on Saturday night before the price rise for Mbeumo, and I've bought in Mbeumo. So Jota is gone, guys. He's gone from the team. And Mbeumo is in, who's got West Ham at home. But I might still wildcard anyway, so I just wanted to get the price rise. Because I know I definitely want Mbeumo for the foreseeable. Raya was the one, or Sanchez. Yeah, Raya, I think, probably at his price to go for him. But I think we saw that one coming, I think, Arsenal's defensive record is just, usually I don't like spending more than 4.5 on a starting goalie. But, it looks like he was the one to go for, maybe even double Arsenal defense.
I mean, even Onana as well. He's up there.
Yeah,
and he's a little bit cheaper than Raya. He's on 30 points. He's only 3 points behind Raya at the moment, and he somehow shockingly got clean sheet and bonus points.
Yeah, got the penalty save as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and he got the penalty saved. That helped him against Southampton, and then 0-0 at Crystal Palace. Got him 2 bonus points, 9-pointer again. So yeah.
Yeah, Sherwin says, why would you wildcard? Team looks fine. Yeah, team looks fine for game week 6, but in game week 7, it doesn't look too great. And if I am going to definitely lock into a game week 7 wildcard, some might say, why didn't you just go now and go early in game week 6? Which I hear that as well. So, I might go game week 7 again. I'll have to consider it. I'm going to wait up tomorrow morning. I'll think about it, and I'll let you guys know on Tuesday or Thursday's videos what I do. But at the moment, I'm probably siding with just game week 7 wildcard, and my team looks fine, and I think Salah could be a nice little differential, and most people have got rid of him on a game week 6 wildcard.
Yeah, it makes sense because you get the points out of those players for this week, and then when they have the bad fixtures next week, then use the wildcard. Then you make the most out of the players.
Yeah, would you go Luis Diaz on a wildcard? Says Dan the Man. I'm not sure I would, if I'm being honest. Even though he's been great, and for me, I mean, technically he's a top scorer of the season. If you don't count Haaland, obviously, because Haaland ain't human. Diaz is the next highest scorer after Haaland, so done really well so far. Looking at, would you go Diaz? I think You could justify it. Wolves, Palace, Chelsea, these are decent games for Liverpool still. But I think there might be better fixtures elsewhere. Eze is an interesting one. Would you still go Eze on a wild card? Let us know your thoughts, guys, because I don't think we would anymore because he's not guaranteed to be on pens anymore. Because after I think Mateta took the pen, he's got Liverpool in Gameweek 7, Spurs in 9. I probably wouldn't go Eze on a wild card. So who would you go for on a wild card? I mean, if you were to wild card, I think you have to have Saka, I think.
Yeah, Saka.
You'd probably still include Rodgers.
Yeah, the fixture's still good for Aston Villa.
I wouldn't have Eze, I don't think. Would you have Smith Rowe?
No.
What's your midfield 5, let's say, on a wild card game week 6? Saka, Rodgers, let's say Mbeumo. Would you go for any Man United players? Like a Garnacho or someone?
I wouldn't go for any attacking Man United players. Only defensive.
I'm going to look at the stats. What are the most transferred in players this week so far? So Diaz is still up there, and a lot of you are still bringing him in. And Mbeumo, again, we know he's up there. Jackson is now gaining traction. His ownership is now hitting that 10% mark after his 2 goals and an assist against West Ham. Fixtures are looking decent, the next 2 at least, 2 home games. So he might be popular on a wild card to get you get a differential in the team. He's only, price-wise, he's only 7.7, isn't he? No, sorry. Yeah, 7.7 mil.
7, yeah. There's Semenyo, Snatch Sherman's.
Gabriel is definitely one I'd have on a wild card over Saliba, especially with his attacking threat. In these 3 fixtures, I can see him scoring, even a couple of goals, which is mad to say. Raya, I would probably have. If I was to wild card, I think Raya would be my goalie. Possibly.
I wanted
30% ownership as well.
Yeah, he's highly owned, but it justifies it. Look at his output. Only the Brighton one was the only goal he's conceded, and obviously Man City. But apart from that, he's not conceded any goals.
Yeah, we'd all have Saka on a wild card, I think, even at 10 million. I think with these fixtures, main man for Arsenal, possibly on penalties. We think with Odegaard not, fit at the moment. Duran is popular. Again, I'm not sure why. It just doesn't start games, so I wouldn't be going there. Rodgers is up there. Semenyo is interesting. Did score against Liverpool in the offside goal. But he does have 2 goals, 1 assist for the season, and he is starting, for Bournemouth. He's a midfielder option, 5.6 million. Decent games coming up, at least the next 2 anyway. Probably don't want to play him in 8, 9, or 10. But after that, fixtures are quite good, and I think he's actually a decent pick for a 5th midfielder, maybe an 8th attacker. Havertz, I think, is going to be a good pick, potentially. If you don't want to go Saka, you want to save yourself 2 million and go with Havertz. Again, no goal in the last 2, but he has scored 2 goals already this season.
In my opinion, he's a good swap for João Pedro.
Yeah, if you can, obviously the money's slightly different, so if you can go up to him.
Very jump.
Watkins, I think, is a great option as well, guys. I think now he becomes someone on a wild card that could be a lock. Ipswich, United, Fulham, Bournemouth. I like the next 4. We know the Champions League. He probably won't play 90 minutes in these games, but I still think if he gets 60, 70 even, he will score. And depending on how the game's going, if they're looking for a winner, then they're not really going to try to take Ollie Watkins off. If they're winning, then possibly. Barnes is interesting. Obviously, not back-to-back. I think 3 games now, 3 goals in a row for Barnes. He's on 3 goals for the season. So another 10-pointer against Fulham in the loss. Fixtures are tough. They look quite tough, to be fair. So probably avoid him due to the fixtures, but he's done quite well. Konate is up there, surprisingly. He's been great for Liverpool in defense, but again, I think he's an avoid just because. He got an assist for one of the goals, but he's just someone that you're not really going to get attacking returns from. I don't think most weeks. It's more the clean sheets that you're looking for. So I'd rather go to a Trent. Just spend another 2 million and go to Trent, guys. It's not worth the 5.1 for Konate. Mazraoui is up there. I think Mazraoui is someone I might have on a wild card as a bench defender option, like 5th defender. Because 4.6, another clean sheet for Man United. Some decent fixtures in there that you can play him, and he's cheap enough to bench. So I probably would include him still for a 4.5. But yeah, wild card. let us know, guys. Are you on a Game Week 6 wildcard? Solanke is one we haven't spoke about as well. He scored his first goal for Spurs.
Yeah. I thought it might have took a few more games for him to get revigorized in Spurs' team, but no, it seems like he's kicked it off already with 1 goal. And he might be underlooked, I think.
Yeah. I think Solanke might be decent as well on a wild card. I mean, I've not seen what are their fixtures like for Spurs. I don't think the fixtures are that. I mean, they're not bad. It's United, Brighton, West Ham, Palace. It's not amazing, but it's not the worst. His ownership's 8%. Sort of, low owned. Differential pick. Got his first goal. Could give him confidence in his coming fixtures. Does Son become an option as well if you really want to go Spurs? Maddison's got a goal, didn't he? I think Son's too expensive at that price to bring him in right at the moment, but he did pick up, I think, an assist. Sorry, 2 assists. 10-pointer. But yeah, those are the options, guys. No Maddison, says Marquis.
I'd like to see more Maddison, I think.
Yeah. Dan says you missed some price rises already. Maybe 7 is better in my case. Yeah, I've missed a couple. I think I missed. Who else did I miss out on? I think Saka must have went up. I'm not sure. Price rises just make FPL so frustrating. Can't seem to keep up with them. I like price rises. I know it's annoying when we miss out on a player by 0.1, but if there wasn't price rises, and I think it just make it too easy where people will just get whoever in, and they would be no like jeopardy. They can just wait until the end of the week and going early and stuff. I think it makes the game a lot better. But yeah, I do. It is frustrating sometimes when you're 0.1 away from a player you want. Top 3, 6 million and below strikers. I mean, Chris Wood's now 6.1, I think, but Chris Wood for me, he started the season as 6 million, so 6.1. But I'll go Chris Wood. Who else?
Welbeck.
5.8. I mean, the fixtures, I'm not keen on the fixtures, but I do think he's a decent pick. Who else did I say? We've spoke about this one. Maybe even Vardy, No, I'm going to be different and say Vardy. I think the fixtures are really good for the next 5, but bar Arsenal.
Yeah, I think, before that, then, they look good.
And Calvert-Lewin as well.
Yeah.
Even though Everton have been poor.
Yeah, because he scored 2 and 1 assist so far. So even though, they've been great, there's still goals coming for them.
But yeah, guys, that's probably it from us for this stream anyway. We're back again on Tuesday for transfer tips and fixtures. So do join us for that one. Again, we'll be going live around 8 p.m. UK time. We're also going to be streaming on Thursday. Tune in if I'm on a wild card. I'll let you guys know. At the moment, I'm 60-40 not wild carding. So there's 40% chance of wild card Game Week 6. You'll have to tune in and see if I do. But yeah, that's it. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan?
But I think that pretty much wraps everything up. Hopefully everyone has a good weekend. Thanks for everyone watching as well. Been a good recap stream for Game Week 5. But yeah, we'll see you Tuesday for transfer tip video. Till then, enjoy the rest of your weekend and see you soon.
Yep, take care, guys. See you soon. And always like the stream, guys, as always, and make sure you are subscribed.